Well, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Iori Folari. Today, of course, is the day we were all preparing for. Spoke about that yesterday. The campaigns kick off formally. Everything is now legit, above board. People can say as much as they want about their candidates. The candidates themselves can say as much as they want about each other, about themselves, actually, about themselves. And, it can all be done publicly. There are those who are saying, perhaps cheekily, I don't know, that, well, people have been infringing on that. But look, nobody has been apprehended or anything like that. So it's all good. Now, two people to speak with us today. Dr. Tunji Abayomi, he's very, very well known to us in the House and indeed to our viewers. Constitutional lawyer, public affairs analyst, APC chieftain. Thank you very much, sir, Dr. Abayomi, for making yourself, giving us some of your time this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, and greetings from Abuja.
Indeed. It's good you put it like that, greetings from Abuja, because I expect we might be getting greetings from the UK as well, because we also have as a guest this morning, J.K. Adebola. Mr. Adebola is a lawyer. He's APC UK Presidential Campaign Council chairman, and we're delighted that he could join us today. A fine morning to you, J.K.
Thank you very much, sir, and thank you for having me. And again, greetings to Nigeria from London, UK, sir.
Indeed. But maybe let me just start from you in the UK, if that's agreeable. Tell me about it. Tell me about the fervor, the preparedness, the readiness, all of that. Is the UK, because, well, to us at home, it might be something of an outpost, but, with the relations between UK and Nigeria, there are those who consider the UK, some of them, not all of us, but those who consider the UK as little more than 6 hours away, and I'm there pretty frequently. But for the rest of us, it's something of an outpost. Tell me, how have you been working on preparations for this time when the campaign season is now open to all?
Thank you so very much, sir, for having me. We, as the Presidential Campaign Council in the UK, we've been preparing for this for a very long time now. We've had ourselves, ready for the kickoff, which is happening today. We have so many campaign activities that we've prepared, and we have our own strategy, which, like you said, some people consider us an outpost, but we don't see ourselves as outposts, because every Nigerian in diaspora has every right to have a say in who governs us in Nigeria. And as they say in politics, they say it's one man, one vote. That, we believe in diaspora, is maybe true for those in Nigeria, but for those of us in diaspora, I can confidently say that one Nigerian diaspora can garner at least between 5 to 10 votes for their own preferred candidate. And the reason why I say this is very simple, because for every single Nigerian in the diaspora, we have a lot of people back home, who depend on us for, their day-to-day maintenance. And of course, if you as a diasporan has been doing your bit for your family, and it's time for election, we believe, this is time for you to call up everyone whom you've been looking after their welfare, to say, this is my candidate, and this is who I want you to vote for. So for me, the one man, one vote may be true in Nigeria, but for us diasporans, we have more power than that. And I believe we will be putting that to good use this time around, because as you know, we have chosen the candidate I want to support, and which is our presidential candidate, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Alhaji Shetima. So both of them will be the people, will be our main focus. And as far as I know, and don't forget, a lot of Nigerians in diaspora too. We have PVC. I voted in the Ondo State election in 2020, and by the grace of God, I'm coming home to vote for this one too. And we have a lot of Nigerians who, because of our passion for our country and the fact that we want to see the country, continue in the right trajectory towards the future. Because whether we like it or not, we have a duty to prepare for generations yet unborn.
Okay.
And the only way we can do that is we need to prepare the ground for that now. So I'll use the floor now for my learned fathers in the house.
Oh, okay then. Dr. Abayomi, again, welcome to open season, as it were, for campaigns. 18, no less, 18 candidates. We've passed the stage of aspirants. 18 candidates, no less, as one paper put it, creatively. I think it's leadership.ng. Want Buhari's job. 18 of them, no less. Now, that's all well and good. We're used to those kind of things. I'm speaking to Dr. Abayomi here. So I was wondering, how significant do you think the warning is that, INEC, Sultan, politicians, have sort of been sounding against violence? Okay, if there's a problem there, maybe Dr. Abayomi could pick up that question so that, I beg your pardon, maybe JK Adebola could pick up that question. You heard the question, hopefully, JK.
Yeah, it's about the Sultan's message to eschew violence, right?
Yes, exactly. And as you know, we always sign these agreements to be of best character. But,
yeah.
Go ahead and tell me how significant you think it is.
I would describe it this way, that there's no better time to put this on the front burner than now, especially given the precarious position the country is in at the moment. I believe, because in the past elections, it's like you rightly said in your introduction, there has always been one bloodshed or the other, at election time. And because of the incessant bloodshed that we have witnessed in the country, I think the message from the Sultan couldn't have come at a better time, because for me, election shouldn't be a do or die affair for anyone, as far as I'm concerned. Election is like a race. You either win or you lose. And as you said, we have 18 presidential candidates at the moment. Only one will win. That's the fact of life. But the problem with us in black race is sometimes we are bad losers. We don't want to accept defeat, even when it is staring us in the face, even before the kickoff. A lot of people, most of the people juxtapositioning now, many of them, you and I can tell who are the front runners and who are not. But you'll be surprised. Say, for instance, in the 2019 election, somebody who couldn't get 30,000 votes across the country suddenly now wake up after the election to say is calling for revolution now. So this is the kind of psyche that some of our people have, that I think we need to really, really jettison now if we want a peaceful country where we all of us can coexist. Because we cannot be talking about development when there is chaos in any system. So for Nigeria to progress and to develop, we have, every single one of us must have it in our mind that the blood of Nigerians should not be shed for anyone. I think as far as I'm concerned, that is my own stand on it.
Indeed. Well, let me check if Dr. Abayomi can join us.
Yes, I think I'm sorry, I just unmuted myself. Okay.
Okay, that's Dr. Abayomi's voice there. Yeah, well, could you weigh in too, please? Looking at the significance of the call for, to eschew violence, and against the backdrop of 18 of those candidates being in there who would be president if the electorate were agreeable. Dr. Abayomi?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Did you hear me?
Okay. Yes,
okay.
I can. I think you were talking about the advice of the Sultan.
That's right. Yeah, the advice of the Sultan,
in regards to,
and other politicians. Yes, and I was remembering that we always sign these agreements. There's a ceremony, and somehow I don't know how effectual those, actions are, signing of these documents, and what your thoughts are for this time around.
Now,
I guess all the viewers, you know what it is. Is bandwidth the correct terminology for it? We seem to be having a problem. JK, are you still with us?
Yes, sir. I'm still here.
So that goes to show that it's a bandwidth issue. Dr. Bayomi is in Abuja.
Can you hear me, please?
Yes.
You hear me?
Yes, now I can, Dr. Bayomi. Please go ahead. Go ahead, Dr. Bayomi. Can you hear me? Go ahead. Oh, dear.
Hello?
Dr. Bayomi, I can hear you.
The connection, computer audio appears to be problematic. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. First and foremost, it's important to recognize that we're actually improving in our elections in the country.
Yeah.
I believe the improvement is due to introduction of technology. Technology increases the credibility of an election. Because right now, elections take place at the units, and immediately they are transferred to a database, a central database. Because of that, the tendency to be offended because a perception of injustice is considerably reduced. I believe the end intended by INEC is to ensure clear and orderly election. I believe such an orderly election that carries credibility is going to considerably reduce election. Even when technology was not as pervasive as it is now, personally, I've always maintained that the problem is really not that we have winners or losers. I think the problem is for the winner to win justly and for the loser to lose fairly. Unfortunately, until this introduction of technology, we had a problem in this sector. But now, with the increasing control of technology, I think we have less anxiety with regard to violence, in the sense that, elections are counted as the votes are cast, and everybody will see it without any problem.
Yes, indeed. JK, can you relate to that? Because, well, elections, your experience of elections in the UK, well, you did say you're coming home for this one, but those ones where you stayed and you've seen and people have told you and all of that, it's a different kettle of fish altogether from what obtains here, be that as it may, developing, society and nation and all of that. But as Dr. Bayomi was pointing out there, does that resonate with you that because of INEC's technology improvements, there's very little that is now left to conjecture? It's probably a lot harder to feel bad should you not perform well at the polls when that time comes. You can't feel bad because you know that what you see is what you get, as opposed to what is the sentimental idea that, no, we did better than that. Now there's very little room, if any at all, for those kind of spurious statements because it's all now wide open. You think that's a good thing? And is there kudos to INEC for that much progress? JK?
Yes, I would say huge kudos to INEC and to the president himself too for for signing into law all the amendments to the electoral law. But having said that, however, it still boils down to people's mindsets. You see, because we can deploy technology as much as we want, unless the people themselves want to accept defeat when they are defeated, or the winner win and does that in a very glorious way. That will still be issue. Don't forget, even in America, the former president of America, he didn't accept defeat. We are living witness to it. That is America, where we think or we thought they understand democracy more. So I just brought that in now for to buttress my point about mindset. That yes, it is good that INEC has improved our electoral practices and processes with technology. But don't forget, even this technology will be operated by people. This technology will be interpreted by people. So again, human input comes in either before, during, or after the deployment of this technology we're talking about. So this is where the issue of mindset comes in, because if an average Nigerian still holds the old mindset that unless I win, nothing happens, even the best of technology in the world will only reduce it to the barest minimum, but it won't stop it, because somebody somewhere will still want to create trouble. Whether we like it or not. So that is why I'm saying that with the technology should come a change of mindset.
Okay, I get you, JK. So I suppose I was listening to Mr. Festus Okoye, on a different program this morning, and he was speaking about the fact that, look, INEC is not going to micromanage any party, and yes, it does have powers, it does have a supervisory role, but the role is also on the parties themselves to be up and doing in terms of sensitization. Dr. Abayomi, along the lines of what J.K. Adebola was talking about, this whole mindset thing. There's a lot that the parties themselves can do to, ensure a sane environment, not saying inflammatory things, not taking inflammatory actions. Dr. Abayomi, is it your considered view that the parties are doing enough in this direction?
I think the parties are okay. The problem really in elections in our country has never really been the issue of party politics or internal party challenges, or even inter-party challenges. The problem has always been a perception of unfairness. Okay. The whole concept of rigging, the fact that the winner cannot win justly and the loser cannot lose fairly. I think traditionally in this country, I believe that nearly in all cases, when people go into election, they expect either to win or to lose.
Exactly.
I do not see what I would call undying desire from people to win. In most cases, I ran for election on several occasions. I think 3 times for governor in Ondo State and 1 for Senate. And in all those elections, I lost. And I'm sure there are other people that had the same experience. The problem is, when you lose, can the system confirm justly that you have lost? And when you win, can the system affirm fairly that you have won? When people see that in our country, I don't see politicians largely desperate in our country. Mr. Adebola referred to the President of America. Yes, he didn't accept election, but I believe that in our country, whether you're talking of president or competitors, usually when the election is fair. In any case, we have a situation where we have election tribunals. And in most cases, when tribunals decide, at least in this Nigeria, rarely do we ever have any situation where we have violence as a result of decisions of tribunals. So we are not really in jeopardy, I would say, if the system can be fair and just to competitors.
Okay. And naturally, that brings, it's not just INEC, staying with you for a moment, Dr. Abayomi, it's not just INEC, even the whole judicial system, the whole, law enforcement system, which Nigerians have also had complaints about. And these systems are an integral part of this. It's not very well known that people who have been apprehended in the past for electoral malpractices have actually ended up in court, and it's been publicized, and so everybody is aware of the fact that this is a no-go area. I don't know why, maybe why the error of omission or commission occurred, but it has been a general complaint with our people that you don't often see the judicial system in work to say that you give us one, we will pursue it to the logical conclusion. That's also important, isn't it, Dr. Abayomi?
Well, you know, the reality of the matter is that these irritants and those with tendency to disrupt the election, we find it less and less possible, because now with the technology, I mean, there's verification of your card, you punch it in, and so on and so forth is recorded. It's difficult now to carry a ballot box and tear it to pieces, or to stuff ballot box, and so on and so forth. What I think INEC needs to do is to continue to improve on the use of technology for the integrity of elections. Okay. That's number one. With regards to the security apparatus and so on and so forth, if the entire system understands that perversion in election or perverting election process, either through undue abuse of security network or the judiciary and so on and so forth. Of course, undue use of security network, there will be less problem. With regard to the judiciary, if the election is fair and fair, and you know that, I mean, these things are straightforward, going to the tribunal or even expecting the tribunal to be bribed to support you becomes more and more, useless, okay, in my view. And in most cases, I may say that most of the tribunals, the courts, still maintain some level of integrity in terms of elections.
Okay. All right, then. JK, yes. You, as a lawyer yourself, I imagine you were a lawyer here in Nigeria before, moving to the UK. And why that is important is that you'd have gone to the Nigerian law school, so you're thoroughly familiar with the whole judicial process in Nigeria. And the point I brought to Dr. Abayomi about Nigerians being used to a culture of impunity, not just in elections, in so many other areas, it has been our complaint that you haven't seen people that were apprehended brought before the court to argue it. Does this concern you, or as Dr. Abayomi put it, I'm aware, and your impression is still to one side that you think it depends on the disposition of the people, that no matter how good the technical processes are, the mindset, as you put it. But as I said, that is to one side. You just heard Dr. Abayomi say that, quite frankly, there's little option than to continue to improve in that direction. But back to the question I asked you about, are you concerned that this whole matter about not pursuing to a logical conclusion people that have been arrested, apprehended in the past, as soon as the election is over, it's like, it's okay, now we have a winner, let bygones be bygones. Does that concern you?
Yeah, yes, it does concern me. But first of all, let me just make something clear. I wasn't a lawyer in Nigeria. I was a marketer. I only became a lawyer when I came to the UK.
I see. Okay, then.
So I've never practiced in Nigeria. So hopefully, maybe at some point I will. But for now,
so in order to enter the Nigerian legal space, you're going to have to visit the law school.
Yeah, I'll have to do that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. I think I agreed with my learned father in the house. You see. I think he touched on one major issue, which is the issue of impunity. Again, that issue of impunity again fits into the mindset analogy that I was making earlier on. Because yes, technology is good, no doubt about it. It will, it's like I said before, it will reduce to the bare. It would, if INEC continues to improve on it, it will reduce to the barest minimum the issue of well, if there's no need for any ballot boxes anymore, perhaps maybe that will even stop that completely. But then, unless and until there's a change of mindset, because I said earlier on, don't forget, these gadgets are going to be operated by humans like you and me. So, which means there's still going to be some element of human input in it. If the mindset of the people who are in charge of all of these gadgets is not on the straight and narrow, that will still be element of, what we call mago back home. And it is this kind of things that feeds into the minds of people who wants to cause trouble either way. So as far as I'm concerned, it has to, we have to pursue this on a two leg. One leg is what my learned father has just said earlier on, for INEC to continue to improve on the technology, because that is the way forward until we get it to a certain crescendo. There will still be a volume of people who are trying to subvert the electoral process. Again, because it's like you said, there are no consequences for actions. You see, when certain people are apprehended during for election malpractices, they are paraded before the press, blah blah blah. This person was caught snatching ballot boxes. This one was caught trying to induce voters and stuff like that. As soon as a winner is announced, nobody hears about the case anymore. Again, this feeds into the issue we've been talking about all along, that this has to be pursued on two angles. When the technology is doing its bit, we as humans should be doing our own bit.
We as citizens, citizens, as responsible people in the society, also need to be doing our bit.
We have to be doing our bit.
We're looking at the, as it were, throwing open of the campaign season, and also the advice from the Sultan, Sokoto, as well as others and politicians, counseling against violence, which unfortunately has not been absent in past elections. The effect might be decreasing. There might be all sorts of devices, as my guests have been saying, that are going to be helpful in sort of squashing that or bringing it down to the barest minimum. But as INEC is as ready as it's going to be for this election, not that it's taken its hand off the plow yet, but perhaps it's significant, Dr. Bayomi, that INEC has said that all of the 18 presidential candidates I was speaking about earlier, all of them have litigations before them in court. And INEC blamed the parties for not double checking, crossing the T's and dotting their I's in the processes of those aspirants emerging into candidates. If all 18 of them have litigations against them, according to INEC, what does that say to you, Dr. Bayomi?
Can you repeat your question, please?
INEC has said that all 18 of the presidential aspirants have court cases, have litigations against them. And INEC has blamed the internal democracy or lack thereof of the parties.
Yes. Well, that's one of the problems that is faced by most political parties. It's a difficult issue in the sense that each citizen who is dissatisfied is under law allowed to seek remedy for perceived injury in the courts. At the same time, there's expectation that a political party will have internal system to resolve problems. So there's a conflict. I think the process, in my view, will go on. INEC will do its job. Elections will take place. The court will make a decision that obviously will have some impact on the system. But I believe that the courts are also conscious of its duty to ensure that there is no undue interruption of the democratic process in a way that will injure the interest of governance in Nigeria.
Okay.
So between the individual rights to remedies in the courts and political right to be able to push ahead its own candidate, I think the courts will have to find a balance. This is my thinking.
Indeed. One moment while we bring on Mazi Okoroafo, who has called in. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, sir. You're a good one, I guess. And honestly, sir, thank God that today is the climax of the campaign proper. That you can campaign from morning till night. So I'm just calling on that. Yes, it will be 247 from now to the end of the campaign. Now, the directors of campaign organizations in any youth and in any party, the youth leaders, I should advise them, my own advice to them is this: one, the NDA should try as much as possible and make sure that most of these boys who will be helping to campaign, that they will not involve themselves in all these illicit drugs. When they finish taking all these illicit drugs, you see some of them climbing on top of motor, some of them sitting down in top of food, creating problems for other passengers. And NDA, it's not a question of going to the airports to look. All these illicit drugs around, please, campaign, environment, any venue, they should not allow tossing to be unsafe. And the youth, now is the time that all the political parties will come and tell you, education, this is how I'm going to handle it. Health, this is how I'm going to handle it. Security, this is how that, and they will give you the indices so that you now sit down within yourself, assess yourself, and know who is competent that to come on board come 2023. And the youth leaders and traditional rulers, please do not allow anybody to buy you, whether religion or tribe or anything you may call it, or society. Do not, because Nigeria is a very big country.
Okay, Mazi Okorafo, thank you very much calling in from Arochukwu there. J.K. Adebola, continuing on that trend, where you're in a, shall we say, an electoral environment that is different. Although, you know, you are also of this, our electoral environment. I'm delighted that you said that all other things being equal, you will be here to cast your vote. So that shows the stake you have in it. But this whole point about that Mazi Okorafo from Arochukwu was just raising there, that the youths tend to take a big part in all of this. And he's like counseling them that, you know, how they hold themselves, their disposition is going to go a long way in this. As I was saying, over in the UK there, you probably don't have the same kind of modus as we have here. But give me your thoughts on the importance of the youths who probably will be taking an active part in the organization of campaigns up and down the land.
Yes. Well, the election campaign here is quite it's a different ball game, compared to what we have back home. And we certainly don't have youths climbing on vehicles, running on the street and stuff like that.
Yeah. Although you see them do that, wait, let it be said, sir. You see people climbing on vehicles in the West as well. It might not be an election rally, it might be a protest march and all of that, but I mean, yeah. Just
we're talking election here now.
Yes, we are.
Well, a protest rally, yes, you might have that, but then at the end of the day, if any of them is caught by the authorities, they know, what is coming after that. Again, it boils down to the no consequences for action kind of system that we operate in Nigeria. Okay, if any human being that knows that there are consequences for any action, they would think twice before they do anything. But because back home, you see, as we've said earlier on here, there's too much impunity in the system, especially certain people within the society feels because of their status in the society, they can do anything and get away with it. That, again, feeds into the mindset of the people that lower down, that if X, Y, and Z can do this and get away with it, who's gonna catch me?
Exactly.
So these are the issues. But you see, like I said, I'm just happy that the man who called in, Mazi Okoro for that called in,
that's right,
made mention of something, which is that Nigerian masses expect this election to be issue-based campaign. It should be about issue-based campaign. You see, you have to come here and tell us what you want to do about certain issues.
Indeed.
Which is what is applicable here in the UK.
Indeed.
Everybody gets tested. People ask that. The problem we have in Black Africa is we don't ask salient questions from people who want to lead us.
Okay, that has been said.
I've had a couple of.
So I beg your pardon for interrupting
so
you.
These are the issues.
Yes, I'm going to come back. I'm so sorry that I interrupted you, but I have a call waiting. Yeah. I'm so sorry, JK. Good morning, Mr. George in Ikeja.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning.
Good morning to your guests.
Yes, thank you.
Uncle Yori, as the campaigns begin, I would like INEC to be up and doing. Why am I saying this? What the Sultan and the other statement said should not be taken lightly. Even before the campaign started, we'll be seeing trends. People who have little or nothing to offer, rather than telling us what makes them capable of leading this country, they keep on denigrating the personality of the other persons that they believe are better than them. Once you start doing that, you are telling me that you do not have the capacity to do what is needed. Uncle Yori, I've been watching a lot of them. Some of them will leave issues and be talking about the health of Tinubu. That he should, came out 2 days ago, he should publish his health history. He must have gone to see a doctor. When he comes back, he should come and tell us what the doctor said. For goodness sake, how many of us, Uncle Yori, including you and myself and your guests, who can beat his chest that tomorrow he's going to wake up? Every day is you wake up in life is a day, a grace by the Almighty Creator. So there's no one person that can say I am better than you in well-being, in health. Who grants it? Is it the politician? Is it the contestant? Is it the person who is mocking the other person? This must be addressed now by INEC.
Okay.
We want to hear about who can fix this country, who has the capacity to do what is needed now. We have problems here and there. Who has done it before?
All right.
Who can still do it now? Those are the things we want to hear. All these ones that are abusing people all around is just an indication of emptiness. That's the way I see it. But we need the regulator, the INEC, to be up and doing before it gets too late. Because I feel I don't know the word to use, but it's very worrisome when you hear people talking like this about their fellow men. In the place I was born, Uncle Yori, there is a saying that if you are in a competition, you do not rejoice if your opponent falls sick or dies. Because if that did not happen, you probably would not have defeated him. So what are we talking about? They should talk about issues and stop disturbing us with all this noise.
All right. Then.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. George, calling in from Lagos. Dr. Bayomi, let me bring to you APC. I don't know. Did they say that the launch of their campaign, which the first news we heard was that it was being postponed to expand the exclusiveness of it, to bring more people on that were just arriving, and we heard that. But now I think one paper is reporting that the postpone has been, the campaign launch has been postponed indefinitely. Come on, indefinitely in this time period. So what exactly, what can you add to the news that's a bit confused about the launch of the APC's campaign?
I think people are worried about the concept of indefinitely. Obviously, indefinitely is obviously definite because obviously there will be campaign before election. Election is taking place in February.
Exactly. So which one is indefinitely?
So what it talks of, I don't think what APC means is indefinitely. What APC is talking about, that they are postponing for now. Let's appreciate that the law regulates when campaign will begin, but it does not prescribe for any political party when it will kick off the law, but it does not of its campaign. So it is the prerogative of APC to decide when it will kick off its own campaign. And that is depending on the internal dynamics of the party. For example, my understanding is that quite a number of leaders believe or feel that they should be included in the campaign council.
Okay.
I think a whole lot of them see it as an honor. Obviously, a huge campaign council really is matterless in terms of what we want to achieve. But sometimes it's like you go to eat with the president. You can find food to eat in your house. But if you eat with the president, you go out to say you eat with the president as an honor. I think this is the issue. I think this is the issue. A whole lot of people feel that.
Okay, so people
put their name on it.
People see it as a badge of honor.
Ahead.
To be in the council.
Yes, they see it as a badge of honor.
It's a badge
and
of
I
honor.
think a political party that is sensitive to its members will take a look at it. There may be one or two important people that have influence and obviously feel injured because
they were not included. Yeah.
So
probably.
I like a political party sensitivity and sensibility in terms of listening to its members and who wants to be included. For people like me, for example, I don't need to be included. Some people like to be sung, and other people like to be unsung. So a political party should be sensitive to its members. So,
okay, Dr. Bayomi, I beg your pardon, because Mr. Mohammed has been waiting for a long while in Abuja.
Sorry.
Good morning, Mohammed in Abuja.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, I greet all your guests.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I greet all your guests, and I agree with all their submissions.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, and then I agree with Uncle George, all his submissions. How can people be calling for somebody's personal health that he should publish it? Who does that? Even in America, who does that? I heard somebody saying that in America, the president will publish his whatever. Who does that? There is nobody on earth who will publish his own personal. Your whatever, your condition and whatever is between you and God and your doctor. Anybody, even your wife, sometimes they know when the thing persists. But anything concerning your health ground, that one belongs to God. But they should not be talking something that is above their power. God is in control. We hear people say that even the current president, when he came in newly, nothing we didn't hear. Is he not working strongly now? He's turning to a young guy every day, the current president. Every day he's looking like a 54-year-old or 50-year-old youth. So
right,
we don't want somebody to be, Mr. Tinubu is fit, confident, capable. We need somebody, and I believe that if Tinubu come in today as a president, all these problems we are saying, it will be over by the grace of God, because we saw it, he did it in Lagos. He
Indeed.
did it, he invited all the tribes, all the religions, everybody. Tinubu is working with him till today.
That's right.
Till today, the number one man that is handling his campaign is Palaki. Palaki is a Muslim. So people should just forget and then focus on the issue-based campaign, not sentiment.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Mr. Mohammed. Appreciate your call from Abuja and also waiting for a while. J.K. Adibola, again, inevitably, we're going to be looking at, the experience that you have where you are because you're in the middle of a very, very strong democratic environment. And then, do that which is your own, because Komi, it is this Nigeria that it is your own. And you cannot divorce yourself from being a part of. And so we were talking about, Dr. Bayomi was, observing the reasons perhaps for the postponement. So many people want to come in and people will see it as a badge of honor to be selling their candidate. In the UK, where you are chairman of the UK Presidential Campaign Council, give me your experience over there. Yeah, people won't be voting from the UK, but there are a lot of Nigerians that will be coming back. Can you sort of give us your experience? We heard that we've had to, delay for a while so as to include many more useful people that should be in there. Has it been pretty much cut and dried over in the UK? The APC Presidential Campaign, Council. JK?
I didn't hear the last part of your question.
I just wanted to know your experience of the UK Council, Campaign Council, given that Dr. Bayomi sort of opined that it might well be that people see it as a badge of honor to be in the council. Yeah. And if there's need to include some more people, so be it. And this is what is going on. So I was asking if over in the UK council, it's different. What's your experience there?
It does. Well, it did happen here as well in the UK, because when we constituted our PCC council here, there were a couple of calls that I received from people who felt they have been left out. And like my learned father just said, so you see, it's a badge of honor for some people, while some people couldn't care less. You see, now this is the way from my experience in politics. This is one thing I've discovered, that certain people operate better from the background, while certain people want to be in the forefront. So it's to be expected. We had it here too. But the only difference between us and Nigeria is that we did not postpone our own inauguration for obvious reasons, because we are just more or less like a small PCC here compared to what you have in Nigeria.
Exactly.
Nigeria as a country, we all know what it's all about. But then you see the funniest part of what is going on now is the word indefinite that certain section of the press inserted into the put out by.
I think that was a bad choice of words.
There was nowhere in the statement where he used the word indefinite, but certain section of the press, because they wanted to fund certain narratives, decided to put that indefinite there. But what I will say to everybody is, you see, APC is the party to beat.
All
They
right,
can come
one
up with
second,
anything
please.
they come- they
One
can come up
second.
with.
I got
They are up
to
the task.
bring on
Yeah.
Oluwasegun. I beg your pardon. I've got to bring on Oluwasegun in Finland. Good morning, Oluwasegun.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir. Go ahead, please.
I'm excited to be on the group. I want to make a little contribution.
Sure.
Yeah, I've been watching the program. I'm so happy for that the campaign is starting. Please, I want the media to help us, like school like you, to invite all presidential candidates. They must come to the studio. So I don't want a situation where presidential candidates feel so big, too big. I live in Finland here, and I know how we talk to people who want to lead us. You know, they go from one
Exactly
place to another. We ask them questions, but I want you guys, especially you, all other stations, bring those people that are coming, that they say they want to be a president. I don't want to hear from the family, I don't want to hear from, I want to hear directly from the president.
I am sure, very much, thank you very much for calling in, Oluwasegun. I am sure there will be many, many opportunities to hear from all of them. Between us, you can trust us, TVC on that, TVC News on that, but also all the other stations, they shall be jostling for them, so there shall be no shortage of appearances, hopefully. But I guess you can take that for granted. We've run out of time, but it's been such an exciting time with our two guests. It's a bit unusual because the subject isn't exactly an entertaining one, yet I found it so exciting. I want to thank Dr. Tunji Abayomi, constitutional lawyer, public affairs analyst, and APC chieftain. Thank you very much, sir, for making time available for us.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
It's our pleasure. And also our high regards to Mr. J.K. Adebola, a lawyer and APC UK Presidential Campaign Council Chairman. Thank you very much, sir, as well, for making time for us this morning.
Thank you for having me, sir. It's my
Okay,
pleasure.
indeed. So
Mr.
that's our program. Thank you very much for being with us. Let's do this again tomorrow at 11 o'clock. I'm Yori Folari. Bye-bye for now.